That's right, everybody. Sleep is now racist too. And I'll leave a link to the full article so you can check it out for yourself, but we're going to take a short look at the first 3 paragraphs. When we study racial inequality, we tend to consider factors that affect people while they are awake. Differential access to safe neighborhoods with good schools, decent jobs, and unbalanced treatment by police and the courts surely have much to do with the stubborn disparities in wealth and well-being among blacks and whites in particular. Yet, it may be just as important to consider what happens when we're asleep. Race shapes our sleep, a relationship that has surprising roots deep in our national past. African Americans suffer from a sleep gap. Fewer black people are able to sleep for the recommended 6 to 9 nightly hours than any other ethnic group in the United States. Compounding matters, a smaller percentage of African American slumber is spent in slow wave sleep, the deepest and most restorative phase of sleep that produces the most benefits in healing and cognition. Poor sleep has cascading effects on racial health disparities, including increased risk of diabetes and cardiovascular disease. The racial sleep gap is largely a matter of unequal access to safe, reliable, and comfortable sleep environments, and this sleeping inequality has a long history. For centuries, whites have tacitly accepted and even actively created such inequality. Aboard the ships of the transatlantic slave trade, African captives were made to sleep en masse in the hold, often while chained together. Once in the New World, enslaved people were usually still made to sleep in tight quarters, sometimes on the bare floor, and they struggled to snatch any sleep at all while chained together in the coffle. Slaveholders systematically disallowed privacy as they attempted round-the-clock surveillance, and enslaved women were especially susceptible at night to sexual assault from white men. Now, I know you must be asking yourself, who wrote this article? Was it a black man, a Chinese woman, a transracial unicorn? No, it was a fucking white male. Benjamin Rice is a professor of English at Emory University, the author of The Showman and the Slave and Theaters of Madness, and the recipient of the Guggenheim Fellowship. He lives in Atlanta, Georgia. He also graduated from the University of California, Berkeley in 1997. I just knew that when I saw the term environmental racism for the first time, when Black Lives Matter had an airport shut down because of environmental racism and how climate change itself was racist, I knew it was only a matter of time before we start digging at the bottom of the barrel to try to find more things we can accuse of being racist. To be intellectually charitable, I will just assume that these people have been beating the "that's racist" drum for so long that they legitimately see racism everywhere they look. Or maybe they're a bunch of race baiters who make a career in doing things like this. Either way, society is beginning to get frustrated and beginning to resist against this radical Marxism. I mean, just look at the backlash that Bill Nye got a few days ago when he aired his new, very, very bad show, to put it simply. This new show has received a bit of negative backlash, as you can see the like and dislike ratio there on the bottom, which isn't always an indicator of quality, but this time it certainly is. Another show that aired on Comedy Central, I believe it began this week, called Problematic, has also received a similar steady flow of negative criticism. TV shows with this level of social justice injected in there in order to pander to the 5% of the population that really thrives on that sort of thing is what prevents the rest of the population from swallowing it whole. I personally believe that race is not going to hold you back from trying to succeed in life. There might be more obstacles. Every race, every little detail about every human being has its ups and its downs. It's just the way of life. We don't exactly need television shows to tell us to not be racist when it's not socially acceptable to be racist. The point of this entire video is that FUBU needs to start making beds for their disenfranchised customers.